This is episode number 49 for the week of January 7th, 2013. I'm Dakazu from the forums, and who else is here?
Darfox8.
Hello, my name is Kenzo.
That's a pretty good impression of Kenzo, Darfox. I am Mr. X.
And Totoro.
What the hell happened to Kenzo? Where were you?
That was a really good impression, Darfox.
Thank you, I'm glad.
I was just doing my impression of Tumble, guys. Come on.
Oh,
I get it.
jokesies.
Indeed. Inside jokes aplenty.
Because
Hey,
that's
everybody.
what people like listening to.
It's 2013.
It is.
Happy
Is
New
it?
Year.
Does that mean there's going to be a marathon on every day for the Friday the 13th movies? Because the 13th, 2013.
This might be your year, X.
Might it be?
I don't know, man.
It
I'm
might.
still fat and lonely and broke.
What?
Someone help me.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. Sort of.
Okay, we're going to set up a donation page for Darfox
Mm-hmm.
It's already been set up.
so that you can get a hat.
I'll drop you a link.
Wait,
So, guys-
TF2 hat?
Yes.
Oh, TF2 hats are the worst.
They're the worst.
Guys, I think for this podcast, we should talk about the backlog. Because over Christmas break and holiday break, I've done nothing but play a bunch of games that were on sale on Steam.
So this is what you've been playing, the podcast.
Pretty much, I would say. I mean,
Boo.
Also watching. I watched some things.
all right, let's start with games, though. And I know you want to start with FTL.
The FTL is so good.
FTL is a game that I am definitely not still playing, even as we record.
Oh, I'm
Lies.
definitely not still playing it.
Lies, Kenzo. I can see
You
your
know-
Steam name.
I played it once. It was cool. I definitely want to boot it up again.
Oh my god, my hull's about to just blow up. No.
You know, it's
This game
kind
is
of funny
highly addictive.
because it's funny. My top 3 from the last time I recorded is completely different now today because I played so many games, and FTL is one of those games that's on my
You're
top 3
so
now.
wishy-washy.
It's not wishy-washy.
I don't
If
think we
anything,
need to
this is
go
more
into.
informed.
I don't think we need to go into like redoing our list, but we should
No, we
definitely
don't.
just talk about how we love FTL and why it's so great.
You know, it's funny. You were saying that you didn't think I would like the game because it's kind of like a roguelike, which it kind of is.
You know, for a roguelike, it doesn't have a lot of roguelike systems, so I can see why it has a much better general appeal.
Let's be real, this isn't really a roguelike, but it's reminiscent of one in the sense that when you die, it's like
You
that's
have to
it, you're
start
dead.
over, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that is remotely roguish about this. Otherwise, you're not walking around on a map in square grids and taking turns. There's real-time battles.
Yeah, the real-time battles are really genius and a lot of fun.
I don't know about genius, but they're simple.
For those that don't know what FTL is, we should probably explain it.
Oh, it's a Star Trek simulator, the game.
It's the best Star Trek game, yeah.
Even though it's not really Star Trek because you've got like 3 crew members as opposed to 400,
But it's super minimalistic, and you just have like a picture of your ship with all the rooms and compartments, and then you just control your dudes, but not directly. You just tell them where to go, and then they automatically repair stuff.
Yeah, they repair stuff, they'll put out fires, they'll fight intruders. They give you a bonus depending on what station they're situated at. Like if you have some guy at the helm, you got a better chance to dodge things. If you have a guy by your weapon stations, your weapons charge faster. Stuff like that.
It's a really good game. It's the most addictive game I think I've played all year.
And it's all about like the mechanics and like the choices you have to make, because the game really is bare. It looks like kind of like a Flash game.
It
Not that
does.
it looks ugly, but there's nothing about it that's like pretty or super like gorgeous. It's all about like just mechanics and like
Yeah.
the decisions you have to make. You know,
This was
apparently
a
it screws you
Kickstarter
over a
game
lot.
too.
Yeah, it's like the first one that actually came out.
But
Might be the only one to ever come out.
yes, you can screw yourself over though by just using the systems. Like to put out fires, you can open up the doors to vent the atmosphere. But then if they disable your door controls, you can't close the doors, so you can never get atmosphere back in those rooms. So if you vented the atmosphere in the room that is your life support room, you're screwed because you can't get anything back in there.
Didn't you say like you eventually get crew members that are resistant to fire? Like that
Yeah.
seems like
I got a
useful.
rock
Well, it's-
dude on my ship right now.
Yeah,
He just
well, I
stopped
mean,
something.
yeah, the rock dudes are immune. There's also robot dudes you can get. You'd think would be able to survive in rooms without atmosphere and life support, but they
Oh,
don't.
no.
They're robots, though. It doesn't make sense.
They'd be like OP if they did.
I only played one game on easy, but I could definitely see the appeal, and I want to go play some more.
The game should be played on easy because that's how you unlock everything.
In the beginning,
I don't suppose any of you have actually completed the game.
No, no one.
I know Cross did.
On easy,
Cross
right?
600.
Yes, Cross 600.
This is crazy.
Yes. But have you guys messed with like the drones and drone controls and everything?
Yeah.
I picked up a bunch of drones, but like I couldn't ever get my hands on the drone control system. And when it was finally on sale, like I didn't have enough scrap to buy it. I was like, no, it's like 80.
Yep. But they are really helpful. There's ones that will shoot out all the rockets that they send at you, and it's really good.
That seems key in like some of the advanced zones. In the beginning zones, it's not an issue at all as long as you have your shields charged up. You have level 2 shields, or you have someone at the shield helm. Your shields will like just pretty much keep everything out. But by the time you get to like the 4th quadrant, they start going right through your shields, and you get boned. I died really fast.
I don't even know what the farthest is. I think I made it to like 6 or 7. This quadrant from jumps.
What happens when you go into a hostile territory? Because I was able to avoid all those.
You just get
Things
the
get
same
harder.
thing.
Did you guys ever go into Nebula?
So
It's the worst.
Yeah. You can't even see inside your ship.
I will say though that it's worse to be by a sun.
Yeah, with the solar flares.
What happens?
There's solar flares, and they're constantly hurting your ship whenever there's a solar flare.
Oh my god.
Constantly getting fires.
Constantly. It's the worst. So then you'll jump a lot of times with your ship still on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then get into a fight with your ship on fire.
Damn. Yeah, game is a lot of fun.
FTL is really good. Moving on, I could bring up Journey, because I played through all that. I know some of you are interested in that.
I am definitely interested in that. I have not hooked up my PlayStation 3 since I moved, so I will definitely get on top of that.
Journey is really, really good, guys. I don't know if you heard.
from a smartsy perspective, or just from a cool game perspective?
Both, I would say.
That's good, because a lot of people didn't like Flower. Like, it was kind of a polarizing game. I really liked it, by the way.
I love Flower.
I like Flower. But this is definitely more of a game than Flower was. There's things you have to do to move on. You don't just, like, fly. But at the same time, it's a beautiful game. I'd say it's the best looking game I've played ever. Ever. When you guys play it, you'll see what I mean. It's just so visually striking.
Your mom's visually
I
striking.
really want to play it.
Thank you.
I know, right? Well, a nice compliment.
Oh, X, you and I should talk about Deadlight.
Do we have to? I
I
suppose.
think Dakazu needs to talk about Anna.
Well, we could bring up Deadlight as
gonna...
a public service.
Don't
I
play
did not
Deadlight.
like that game at all.
Just explain what that is. I'm sure I heard the name, but I don't know what the hell that is.
It's like this side-scrolling zombie game.
Imagine like Prince of Persia, or what was that game that came out like recently? Orson Scott Card wrote it.
Shadow
yeah.
Complex?
No, it's not like that. That's like a Zelda-style Metroid game.
No,
this is not like
Metroidvania.
that.
Okay, this is much more like in the old school Prince of Persia.
Flashback,
I mean,
maybe.
like, yeah, exactly. The 2D Prince of Persia style, where you have to climb up, platforms and like slowly lower yourself down from them. But this is based on zombies, so you're like have to traverse environments, and there's platforming involved, and you have to avoid zombies. And
It's a side-scrolling platformer.
I would say the beginning was actually not bad.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
X?
because it's still introducing you to all the mechanics and everything. So, and it has a pretty cool art style. So, I mean, it seems cool, but then the more you play it, the more you realize that the game is garbage.
The cutscenes are very reminiscent of the Metal Gear digital comic. You guys know about that? The motion comic?
Yeah, or like Peace Walker cutscenes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're okay. They're stylized. It's just that, like X said, like in the second half of the game, the game requires you to be very specific with like your motions, or you will die repeatedly.
Yeah, it requires precision and accuracy and timing, and the controls just don't back it up.
They're just way too stiff.
It's awful.
You said you died multiple times. Can you just confirm this? Was this the scene that involved you running through a building that was falling apart? Yes. Yes.
First time you go in, you have no way to know that the building is collapsing. So you die the first time. But then every single time after that, you also die. It took me like 30 tries.
It took me about 10 tries, but I was like, I bet this is the part X got stuck on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would get to the end, after the first room, and then where you have to jump up, and then that's where I would keep dying. Because I would jump a second too late, and then it would put me right up against the wall, so that I couldn't jump off the wall. I would have to back up first. It was the worst.
Some of the puzzles are really like it was hard to understand what you had to do. There's one puzzle where you actually had to jump outside the building and shoot out a window so you could then jump through it. You know which one I'm talking about, X?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one I could not figure out for like a long time. I think I died like 20 times there. Especially because the zombies keep respawning. It's just like, you know what? Like the story ends up being kind of generic. You kind of see what the twist is halfway through.
I would say more earlier than halfway.
Yeah, and then like the entire story is told through these diary pages that you find.
Well, also flashbacks with those cutscenes.
Yeah, but when you read these diary pages, oh god,
it's like they're written by a fourth grader or lower grade.
It's not very good quality.
Here, let me read you a sentence. If you can compare my town to other cities, they're garbage.
I would say avoid this game.
That was a sentence from one of the diaries.
We can move on.
Why in the world are you playing this?
Because it was on Steam still.
I meant say a fourth grader's diary. Why are you playing this?
Right. Also, there's a thing that says Happy 1986 and Merry Christmas in the diary. I mean, the game was potentially really cool, but they just failed in the execution and the writing. The dude is Canadian, and he's talking about how he hates the commies. Oh, by the way, this takes place in the 80s during the Cold War. So he's talking about how he hates the commies and everything, and he's Canadian. But then he refers to all his friends as comrades.
What?
That
seems odd.
It's bad.
Did you notice that, Dakazu?
Yes.
Super weird.
I mean, he's like a super advanced hipster or something. He's like being ironic.
Or this game is from another country and it was translated poorly.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, I want to talk about I Am Alive, and I think Kenzo has played the demo.
Yeah, I don't really have that much to say about it.
I bought that game. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say.
I was super interested in it, but I think the demo soured me on it.
Is it the climbing and the stamina
it's all
mechanics?
climbing. It's all climbing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just played only, like, about an hour, and the very beginning, like, you're traversing this bridge. You have this gauge at the top, like, which is your health and your stamina combined. Like, the gray part is your stamina, and the red part is your health. But when you're, whenever you're climbing, your stamina ticks down.
And every single ladder in this game seems designed so that, like, by the time you get up to the top of the very top of the ladder, you're almost completely out of stamina. So like you either have to just haul ass up every single ladder or climb every time you're climbing some like, you know, ledge or whatever. Like you have to get things right and on time, otherwise, you know, you start taking. Is it health damage or do you just like?
No, what happens is when your gauge like empties out, and this is what sucks is I think like you said there are some platforming climbing parts that they're designed so they will drain your stamina. And what happens when your stamina drains, you have to mash on the right trigger so like you don't fall and so you can complete your final climb.
It's just
but even afterwards, like then your max stamina drops.
It's just like an unnecessary bit of stress and whatever. And it's like I don't know if I am down for that for a whole game, you know?
Are you able to upgrade your stamina throughout the game? So maybe that becomes less of an issue later?
I don't think you are. I think all it is when your max stamina lowers, you have to use healing items to regain like your max stamina,
which
and
are pretty
I feel
rare
like
and valuable.
So it's going to be a game of like inventory management, and I see myself potentially screwing myself if I use up too much health items.
I really want to like this game too because I love games like this where fighting isn't necessarily like the only thing you're doing or you know the primary focus. Like you can just point an empty gun at a dude and just walk by him and he'll be like, all right, don't shoot me. But And then you and me, we love this one game called
Disaster Report.
Yeah, there we go. Where it's
Disaster Report games are fantastic.
Where it's just just this dude. There's nobody to fight, and you're just trying to escape a city that's fucked up from what
I don't think there were any battle sequences in that. It was just simply puzzles to try and get out of a location, or just make sure you're, like platforming elements where like water's coming up and you have to like avoid the water.
And then there's other things like make sure that you are hydrated enough so you don't pass out or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that was far more interesting to me. Like this, I don't know. I mean, I'm only an hour in, so that's what I can say about it. Like you said, like the gun, like using the gun and, holding guys up and kind of walking past them and away from them seems like an interesting thing. I just went by like 2 survivors and they were like, please give us a med pack. And I was like, fuck you, I ain't giving you my med pack.
I gave them the med pack, but I didn't really get much from it. Whereas like,
exactly,
there was one point where you're walking by this group of this lady who's just like freaking out her mind, like she's a gun. She's like, don't come near me, I don't want no trouble. So like you have the option to, I guess, like fight her and then maybe take what she's got in her house. But I mean that if you get shot, then you're fucked, right? So like, do you engage these people or you just walk along? I don't know. It's interesting, but it's got so many problems where I'm not just enthusiastic about playing it just yet.
I think I'll play more. I'll report back maybe after I'm done.
It was only like $5 on Steam.
Yeah, I want to say it debuted on PSN for like $15, so it's not like a big deal or anything.
It was supposed to be a retail game though, right?
Probably.
Originally, yeah.
They just narrowed the scope down when they realized, fuck.
It was a
we did this wrong.
Raymond game, I want to say. At least originally.
For all that's worth.
Yeah. Should we move on to another game?
We should.
Okay, I'd like to bring up 30 Flights of Loving, which I am the only one to play. Do you guys have any idea what it is?
Nope.
It's a video game short story. It's like between 10 and 15 minutes long, I'd say. And it's like non-linear storytelling. And do you care if I spoil it for you guys? Do you think you'll play it?
Is it still on sale?
I don't think so. It was like $2. I'm not sure what it is normally.
Talk around it. I don't know anything about it yet.
It's $5 right now. Well, it's kind of hard to talk around because the game it doesn't really have any gameplay. It's you just going through it, and it's all story. I think this was one of those game jam games, like the Molly Jam, the Peter Molyneux thing. I think that's what it was. So this game was made in like a couple hours, and it has a soundtrack by Chris Remo from Idle Thumbs. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Idle Thumbs, but he does the music.
Vaguely.
He does the music for it. The music is pretty good. Has a cool art style, and it's super interesting. I wish I could say more, but I can't.
So you won't.
Well, X.
It comes with Gravity Bone also.
I will buy the game right now, and then we can talk about it on a future podcast.
Okay.
Dakazu, save your money.
Some spoil stuff. No, I'm okay with this. I mean, it's only $5.
Just remember, it is only 15 minutes long.
It's fine.
But it does come with Gravity Bone.
I like these types of games. I like Dear Esther, so.
Yeah, Dear Esther is good stuff.
Do you know what's not good stuff? Anna.
Oh,
are you sure
the exact opposite of?
Are you sure the game is bad and you're just not bad at the game?
No, the game was bad. I ended up going through the game. The game was bad.
Okay.
What I saw was just kind of like a bare bones kind of adventure game with not much to it. I don't know if it's like a terrible game. It's just you gotta have the right expectations to play it.
Dakazu was doing a live stream of this, and it was messing up for me, so I couldn't see everything. But from what I saw, you pushed a rock with a stick.
You forgot, like, before I spent 5 minutes outside going, like, how the hell do I get in this house?
There was way more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, you guys were laughing at me.
It was like 30 to 45 minutes.
It was bad. I thought it'd be like more like a horror game, so like, I'd be scared and like you
more
guys
Amnesia, Slenderman.
Yeah, you guys could watch me like get scared because I get scared easy and laugh and have fun. But no, it just ended up being a boring adventure game.
And that's all.
That's really it. Like you can't even die in the game, like from what I can tell.
And that's all you have to say about that.
Yeah, it was dull and boring.
What else have you been playing?
Moving on.
Some entertainment watching you play, but yeah.
We played so many games. I know we're not going to mention all of them, Like, I finished Dishonored, but I think we've talked about that on the podcast already.
We did.
And
Did you like it?
I did like it, and I got the bad ending.
Meaning you killed people?
I did kill people.
Did you save her or no?
Yes.
Why, Ross?
Okay.
I didn't even know there was an option where you couldn't.
You can let her fall.
I didn't know that. I didn't do that.
That's all we'll say about that.
Well, I mean, the story of that isn't really... The story of that game is kind of bad. I mean, it's bare bones.
Did you see that twist? I guess you could say twist happening.
Kinda. I kind of figured, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that, though at the end, like, you didn't exactly go through and, everybody.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Well, you got the good ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay with everyone if I say what happens in the bad ending?
I don't think I'm gonna play this game. Probably not anytime soon.
Totoro, do you care? We'll just say it's spoilers.
I've not played it yet, so...
Okay, well...
Spoilers for the bad ending, then. Wait, are you saying you don't want us to spoil it?
No, go for it.
Okay, so spoilers for the bad ending of Dishonored, starting now.
Well, the bad ending where you save her still. But she takes after your example, and then she rules with like an iron fist and kills everyone. I don't know if she kills everyone, but she follows the way you play the game is how she leads. Because she becomes the leader, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that actually was kind of cool, how your play style influenced her, but it was totally baked into the story. And it wasn't really... It was a binary choice.
Yeah, it was a binary choice.
I mean, it would be cooler if it wasn't binary and it would change depending on how you played through the entire game instead of just good or bad. Like, there should be
how games are. They're hard. It's hard if it's not black or white to do like the in-between stuff.
It would be way more interesting, though, if there was a game that could actually portray the gray, not just the black or the white.
There is a game that does that, and it's called The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. That game is fantastic.
Don't spoil it for me, although I think I've had something spoiled for me on other podcasts that I tried skipping, and I ended up skipping right to major spoilers.
That's so sad. I wish podcasts had like chapter skipping.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But apparently it's kind of hard to do that.
People bitch about like timestamps. As some people who do podcasts, timestamps are pain in the ass. Totoro? They are pain in the ass and they're time consuming.
Well,
sorry.
They fall almost solely on the responsibility of the person editing it. And that person already has so much work on the podcast already that it's like...
If we use a different audio format, we could have chapters, but that would be probably even worse.
Exactly.
Now, whatever.
What are we talking about? WMA or...
I'm not sure. I know it can be done. I don't know how to do it.
What about The Walking Dead?
Nothing. It's great. Like, as everyone has said, like a lot of people, it's their number one it's their game of the year. I totally agree that like it is a fantastic game. It's not quite my number one. I still think Borderlands beats it out. But it was an amazing game.
That game makes me sad.
I've played the first 2 chapters or episodes, and I think it's a little weird that it's getting Game of the Year based solely on its story, because that game has really bad gameplay when you actually have to play it.
That game makes me sad.
The gameplay is simple. I have kind of an opinion about the choices, because a lot of the choices are false choices. I won't say which ones, but a lot of them, like, you think you're trying to save somebody or somebody else or whatever. Turns out the same thing happens. But so you might say, well, that's bullshit. Then, like, what does it even matter? But kind of from a philosophical standpoint, it kind of does matter, because even if something's inevitable, I think it still matters how you're going to react to it and what your stance is going to be on it. And that's kind of what the game is about. It more pays attention to what stance you take and whose sides you take, as opposed to what actually happens.
The choices are there to make you feel a certain way and make you make a decision, and not necessarily that your decision has any impact on the game. But
sometimes it does, but a lot of times it doesn't.
It's just it has an impact on you as a person.
I got a question.
And how people look at you.
I got a question specifically for Darfox. What was the better game, this game or 999?
I only played the first 2 chapters, and I've seen the last episodes of Walking Dead. But I'm pretty sure 999 was a better game.
That's what makes me sad about The Walking Dead. Because I'm sure it's a decent
come
game.
Out this year.
No, but Virtue's Last Reward did.
There's a sequel to 999.
True.
And that game will get ignored forever, even though it is a better game.
I don't think so.
And 999 has your choices do matter, and they take you down horrible roads. So, that's probably the best game ever to handle multiple choices that I've played. But whatever, The Walking Dead is a
wait, it's because of how it ties in with the narrative.
Yeah, it's completely about. It's completely the whole point of the game is multiple choices. In Walking Dead, at worst, it's like a gimmick.
At worst.
Yeah, at best, it's like exciting or tense situations, but at worst, it's like a gimmick. But Walking Dead, it's a popular brand right now. Like the TV show is like the most popular TV show ever made. So,
on cable, anyway.
Of course, that's gonna get more recognition than like anime visual novel game that people dismiss because 1, it's anime, 2, it's visual novel, 3, it's portable gaming, 4, I don't know, any other number of reasons why people have prejudice against this game and don't want to play it.
Super sad. I'm super sad.
You know, while we're talking about The Walking Dead, there was some footage released for the AMC's Walking Dead game where you play as Daryl.
Yes. What was the story behind that? Was there something weird about it?
Well, there was a fan-made trailer that was made up of the footage that they released on that IGN show, but that was actual footage from the game, and that game looks really bad.
It looks like just early. It looks like pre-alpha type stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it shouldn't have been shown yet.
Yeah, it looks like just kind of bare environments with like early zombie AI characters kind of just standing around.
And the characters look like they're made of plastic.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how because the Telltale game, the adventure game, kind of copies the art style from the comic, right? So it kind of looks cartoonish sometimes it looks really good. This one seems almost like a hybrid where it kind of seemed kind of cartoonish. At least the zombie face looked like it was kind of like it's almost cel shaded.
Yeah,
but like kind of realistic. So I'm confused whether or not they're gonna go for the cartoon.
I think it's the developer of the Ghostbusters game. I think
which was like okay.
It was okay, but I bet it's using that engine, and that's why everything looks like that.
Really, I thought that game was pretty good.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't great.
I shouldn't say because I'm only going after opinions of other people on podcasts. But I remember people like coming away with it saying it was pretty cool. But
I played it. Like, I mean, the best part of it was I got all the voice actors from the movies, including Bill Murray, which is great. But then the game kind of just became super repetitive. Yeah,
the repetition is the annoying part about that game, but everything else was very enjoyable.
It was okay, yeah. I played a pretty good game.
What's it called?
Farcry 3. I don't know if you heard of it.
I have.
It's this game where you're on an island and stuff happens. And that game has a lot of dubstep in it. But real dubstep.
Okay, so as someone who has, I think I asked... Did I ask Kevin about this?
I believe you did. You asked how it compares to 2 and if they got rid of all the stupid stuff from 2.
Yeah, like the traversal being annoying and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got rid of all that.
Awesome.
You don't have malaria. There's no respawning enemies at checkpoints and all that. This is a first-person shooter version of Assassin's Creed. It has the exact same structure that Assassin's Creed has.
You mean how you have story missions in certain areas, and you also have a bunch of side quests,
and you unlock areas of like the map by going up onto the viewpoints. In this game, they're towers, and then the camera spins around, showing you areas of the map, and then it shows you what's in that area, different side quests and everything.
Is this an Ubisoft game?
Yeah. This is
the Assassin's Creed initiative.
There's this one part where you have to follow this guy without being seen, and he'll periodically stop and look behind him. So you have to hide behind a corner. I don't know if you've played any missions like that in Assassin's Creed before.
Also, the other games have done that before.
True.
But maybe Assassin's Creed is the most popular one. It's clearly inspired by Assassin's Creed.
It has the same animation of the dude stopping and looking over his shoulder. It has the exact same animations from Assassin's Creed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Well, it's from the same team, I think. It was Ubisoft Montreal. Every team works on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
A lot of people are talking about how Assassin's Creed was a big disappointment. Do you think it's because Assassin's Creed 3. Do you think it's because like they put their resources and their efforts into Far Cry 3 instead,
No.
and that kind of cannibalized it?
No.
No.
I think it's because they didn't think about the game that they were making. They were like, okay, let's put all these side quests in, but then they forgot to make the side quests matter.
What are you talking about?
Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, I know, but what do you mean by the side quest didn't matter?
I mean, what was the point of doing all of like the homestead stuff and upgrading all your weapons when you don't need any of that? You can just use your starting weapons through the entire game.
Well, you could do the same in the old ones. It was just a lot harder, and the same with this. Like, you could do that, but it's a lot harder.
But I mean, it served like a purpose in the past games.
It serves a purpose in these games too. Like, upgrading your homestead gets you just way better everything.
It gets you more money so that you can use it on what?
Better weapons, your ship.
Yeah, your ship, I suppose, but I don't know. But back to Far Cry 3, it's really good. It's also a really good looking game. I would say technically it's the best looking game of the year. Not artistically though.
Did you play part 2 and part 1 much?
No. I played through some of 2, but then I just got really annoyed with everything that was going on in that game.
We've talked about that.
And
yeah, I was just wondering, what's the big difference?
The big difference is that they got rid of all the annoying stuff and just made it like a really good open world sandbox game.
The traversal was a huge problem in the second one. Like, we mentioned it before, but you couldn't travel anywhere because you'd constantly run into enemies and they just chase you down. And the fast travel was very sparse and limiting. It was just really annoying from getting to point A to point B.
Well, in this, there are enemies that will just roam around, but then once you take over their base, they stop spawning there, and then your guys move in.
See, that sounds great.
So you just have to take over their camps, and then it's all good. Just like Assassin's Creed.
Awesome.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed,
Ubisoft thought, when in doubt, copy Assassin's Creed.
Speaking of
Yes,
Assassin's
Kenzo?
Creed, the last time I was on, I wanted to call that game like my number 3 game of the year, but even though I'd only played like a couple hours of it, and that's pretty much the only game I've really played a lot of between then and now, and I beat that game, and it was really good. I really liked just about everything about it. I
liked it a lot too.
I loved the ending. I liked the characters. I liked some of the system improvements. The only thing I didn't like was the economy, which is just kind of broken. But
I felt like the economy didn't really matter at all.
I mean, it mattered because it made things a lot easier once you got into it. It's just really hard to get into it because the amount of micromanaging it took in order to, buy and sell goods and make better goods. It's just tedious, right?
Very, yeah. I preferred it the way it was in 2 and Brotherhood and everything, where you just buy the shops.
But I liked the homestead stuff. I especially liked the homestead missions just because they were, they told little stories in themselves, and they were a lot more interesting than just like, random whatever in the other games.
Right. But at the same time, it all felt kind of pointless because it didn't feel like it mattered. Like, it didn't add anything to, like, there was no point to it.
You were making your own little kind of like town there, and
yeah, I know, but
it was kind of like
why?
It was kind of like a symbol. How do you say? It was symbolic of just kind of like making America as well, like America on a small scale.
But I mean, in terms of gameplay and what it adds for you in the game, not just like for the story or whatever, it didn't really seem all that important.
I don't know. I liked it a lot.
I mean, I barely touched it.
That's because you're silly. There were a lot of fun missions there. Those are actually some of the best missions in the game, actually.
I'm trying to think of the last homestead mission I did. I think it was this one where there were poachers.
Yeah, and you go fucking kill them.
Yeah, you go kill some dudes that were killing some animals.
And then,
which seems a bit harsh.
They were trespassing on your land, and they were trying to kill your friends, so not really.
I suppose.
But it's good stuff, and I love the ending, just like the how you confront who was essentially the final boss. The final actually chase scene was terrible, but like after that was awesome.
It was. That was patched too. It was made easier.
It was really hard, but it still looked really good. It was a really cool sequence. It's just I had to replay it way too many times.
I think it took me 3 or 4 tries.
Oh, it took me at least a dozen.
I wonder if you played it without the patch.
I don't know.
'Cause I know they patched it to make it easier. I think they did it with a couple of chases, which is weird that they had to patch something to make it easier.
Well, it's really weird that that chase was hard to begin with because I felt like I had just played through most of the Assassin's Creed games, and I feel like the chases in this game were probably the easiest or like least tedious out of all of them. It's just that last one. You just stand no fucking chance.
It makes it look like you're supposed to go one way, and when you're actually supposed to go another way.
I have no idea how you're supposed to go because you see a guy run down a street, so it's like, all right, I should obviously follow him down the street, and then
I'm talking about in like the burning ship. Spoilers, there's a burning ship.
yeah, there's a ship in Boston Harbor that's just like being made throughout the whole game, and like the first time I saw it, I'm like, you know what? There's going to be some chase sequence that goes through this ship, and there was.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, this seems kind of weird. This is definitely going to come up later.
I mean, it wasn't weird because that's just what Boston was known for.
I mean, the
just
way
whole
that
Northeast.
it was set up, like, because I actually went in it before
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's like, hey, this is totally going to be a chase.
It's funny because I've kind of enjoyed just examining the environment in Assassin's Creed games because you can tell like they've designed this and that well before you get to it. That there's going to be a chase there. There's going to be a chase here. Look at these zip lines. They're all in a row. I'm going to spend a sequence sliding down them during a mission.
Yep. Do you want them to, because they obviously are going to come out with another Assassin's Creed next year, do you want them to continue with Connor or move on?
I like Connor. I think that they could do more interesting things with him. But I'd like him to...
That's not what you said.
What?
Remember what you were talking about earlier today? You showed us like some images.
What?
The one in China.
That'd be fun too, but I would
like the French Revolution.
Yeah, the French Revolution would be great because that is just an amazing setting right there.
Although they'll probably save that for like Assassin's Creed 4 or something.
But you have such an easy in though. Like you just had the American Revolution, which is like a natural tie into the French Revolution. You already introduced like some French characters that tie into very importantly to the beginning of the French Revolution.
And one of the French dudes was like, when we're done here, we'll go over to France, Connor. And Connor
would
was
it
like,
be weird
okay.
to send that character to France?
No, he was invited in the game.
Well, there you go.
You could just be like, oh, there's a piece of Eden over here you got to track down, Connor. Go ahead and do it. It's like, all right, let's do it. Go to Paris.
Although, with the way that game ended, what are they going to be... I mean, what are they going to be looking for?
I don't know. So, do we want to give little spoilers here?
Well, I don't know. Not because Dakazu hasn't played it.
Yeah, so the ending, it's a very open ending, like a lot of Assassin's Creed games are, but I feel this is even more. It's just like, they could go in all kinds of directions right now, and it'll be interesting to see what they do.
But they definitely do close the book on one aspect.
Well, that's debatable.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about I don't know how to say it without spoiling.
Well,
I'm not going to.
I don't think it's a spoiler because before the end of this game, before they released this game, they were touting Assassin's Creed 3 as the end of what's his face's story, Desmond,
the main guy.
So does that get wrapped up? Even in this first game,
the story.
I figured they'd have more sequels.
But you could easily, I think, make a cop out.
Yeah, very easily. In fact, I think the cop out may have been in there, and I just missed it, or you may have even missed it. I'll ask you about it later, Kenzo.
But yeah, that was a great game. It's still my number 3 of the year. I'm not wishy-washy.
Do you want to talk about the other game that you started, Kenzo?
I started in like 10 games, and I just haven't been able to like sit down and have the attention span to get through them.
Let's talk about the trilogy.
I bought the Mass Effect trilogy on the PlayStation, and I'm starting to play Mass Effect 1, and that game...
It's playing 1.
What's wrong with that?
I do not like that game.
I like some aspects of it.
1.
I'm frustrated with others already.
How do you like the inventory management?
It could be worse.
Could it?
Yeah, it could be better, but it could be worse. I like that there's actually inventory in this game versus the other ones where you don't have shit.
Well, people didn't like the inventory management, so instead of having management, they said, okay, we'll get rid of the inventory.
That was terrible. That was a bad idea. I like equipping things.
Are you still mad that I told you to be the soldier?
Probably not. We'll find out.
Soldier, I
told him not.
I always pick the guys that can do the powers with handguns.
Yeah, there's the... Is it called a paladin?
Maybe.
There's always like a sword and magic guy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can
Like
pause the game and give pretty good commands, so I don't think I'll miss it as much.
That's specifically why I told him to just go with like the guy who uses guns, because that guy gets rifle like stuff, and the rifle I feel is the best weapon in that game.
I'm also rolling a
I
Lady
did that
Shepherd
as well.
this time
Okay,
around.
can you change that what you are in 2? Or does it just carry over your save?
No, you
I
can
think you should
change
be
it
able to
too,
change
because
it too, then you die.
because of what happens at the beginning.
Oh,
yeah,
spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well,
No, I knew that.
Spoilers,
That's
you
not
die,
big
but
deal.
you don't.
Spoilers for the very beginning of Mass Effect 2, you die, and then you get zombified.
You get Robocopped.
You get bargains.
I prefer Robocopped.
Yeah, he's kind of a Robocop. Or she, whatever.
It.
Then I also play some Arkham Asylum, which I made the mistake of starting the game on really hard, and it was really hard.
Really?
I was
It
like,
is
I'm
really
going to
hard.
get all the trophies in one go. It's going to be super awesome, because some of the trophies are tied to difficulty. So I was like, I'll just tackle it on the hardest difficulty. And that game is kind of hard when you first start out that way. I think it's clearly designed that you go on to hard once you know how to play the game.
You should not have done
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
especially since the game gives you prompts to counter their attacks, and hard, they don't give you the prompts.
I mean, I can tell when I'm supposed to do it. It's just it's just hard getting into the
Yes.
flow and learning how to react the right way.
Are you playing Asylum
It's
or
a lot
City?
better.
Asylum, silly.
Okay.
It's a lot better if you actually play the whole game on normal, because like you get to know their animations. They basically like turn to life when they're going to attack you, so you know who to look out for.
I have City.
Maybe you got that down by just playing.
I bought City as well, but I don't want to play it because I have to beat the first one. And you always got to go in order,
I can't
right?
believe you haven't played them yet.
I thought you had played them already.
I played the
I played
demos for both of
part
them,
one.
and was never too excited about either of them because of the demos. But
You
I hear
should
these
not
great
be playing that
things.
game on hard. You should be playing that game to have fun.
no, I gotta play the game for trophies. Damn it!
Okay, wait. Is this related to the trophies contest that's going
No,
on?
but we
No,
can
not
mention
yet.
it
because the
real
contest
fast.
isn't going on yet.
Let's mention it.
Okay, yeah. So I was kicking around the idea that in the past we've had a achievement contest, and I was like, well, let's just do the same but with fucking trophies, because trophies are great.
We also had an unachievement contest.
That's true. That is true. But so it looks like the plan right now is to start the contest up in the beginning of February, and it'll last for a month. And whoever gets the most trophies in that amount of time is the winner, and we'll have prizes. And I don't know if you guys want to volunteer some prizes. I'm planning on buying somebody a game, or they get the choice of a game or it's either a 3 or 6 month pass to PS Plus.
Wow.
So it'll be good.
Well, in the achievement contest, I gave away a copy of a Dukes of Hazzard game for the PS1.
Oh, I've got all kinds of things like that. So
That's quite the prize, X.
I know Bob has it now.
Does he have it, or did he just like take it from the mailbox to the garbage?
people can
bin?
have my signed
He-
copy of Quest 64.
He posted a picture
Oh,
of
hell
it
yeah.
up and running
That's
on his
quite
TV.
the prize, Kenzo.
How about Superman 64? Can you give a copy of that?
No, I never bought that game. Come on. I'm not
Do you have
that
a
big
strategy
of
guide
schmuck.
for Xenogears or something?
I actually
I have a
do.
s-
But
I
I'll
have-
never give that away. Fuck that.
I have the Nintendo Power strategy guide for Final Fantasy 1, but that's mine.
I was going to say.
I have the Xenogears like Perfect Works Encyclopedia, but that's mine.
It's all this great stuff you're not going to win if you win this contest.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
God.
I'll
there's
send you a picture of my Final Fantasy strategy guide.
I'll set up a thread pretty soon on the forums, so just so people can start signing up. If you want, you should. Let's see. We'll put up our PSN names, and then you befriend us, and that's how we'll tell if you want to be in the game and how to keep track of your trophies.
Tentatively, though, this is probably happening in February,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we've all got a
Beginning
while.
of February throughout on the month.
You know, that's actually a really good time to start it because there's a ton of games coming out,
Yep.
which we might be talking about on a future podcast.
Maybe next week. This week, I really just wanted to talk about all our backlog because I played so much stuff. I mean, we don't really have to talk about it, but I played like Mark of the Ninja a little bit.
I
That was
played
good.
the first level of that, and that is really interesting how like mechanically
Yeah.
driven that game is.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I like how like you can take how slow you can take it for a stealth game.
and how it shows you when you're making noise and where you have to be or where they can hear you, because it has like that radius that comes off of you as you're running.
Yeah, and I really like the line of sight that you have. Like if you don't take your time and pick peek over corners or whatever.
It's almost like a
You
Fall
I'm
Guys.
told this is a platforming Metal Gear, basically. What?
It's a 2D Metal Gear, I guess is all
It's
you
by the
could
people
call
who
it.
did Shank.
It looks like it's
Yes.
Yeah, but it looks like it's a side scroller as opposed to like top down.
Yeah, it is a side scroller.
The top-down game you want to play is Hotline Miami. Awesome soundtrack, very satisfying combat.
I watched a
Fun game.
lot of
For
videos of people playing that. I have no interest in playing it myself, but it looks awesome.
For a 2D game, the combat is so satisfying.
It's good.
I mean, there's just so much weight to like the swinging the bat. I mean, it's brutal.
I also played a bunch of Half Minute Hero. It's good, but it was originally on like the PSP, and I can definitely see the appeal of just being able to play that game like lying down in bed,
Yep.
as opposed to sitting at my computer. It's kind of annoying.
Do they have?
Wait,
Okay, so there's Half Minute Hero. Do they also have the PC versions for what is it? There's like Half Minute Villain and stuff like that too, and Half Minute Hero
yeah,
too.
they have all those. Those are all included.
Cool.
Let's see. I played some Wizorb, and that's it's Arkanoid, so there's not much to say about that. Retro City Rampage, I only played like 30 minutes of, and within those 30 minutes, I think I already got like over 20 like old school video game references. It was insane, just reference after reference.
Sounds like oh fuck, what's that thing called? Family Guy. Yeah, the Family Guy of video games. Boo.
No, I don't think it's that. It's not like, hey, remember that time?
Remember that time you were
Kind of.
playing fucking Tomb Raider? Yeah, that was great.
I have Retro City Rampage as well through PS Plus.
Yep.
And yeah, I played it for like 40 minutes, and I saw like Ninja Turtle reference, A-Team reference, Metal Gear reference, everything reference.
Fox, would you agree that like those references come fast and furious? Like they just come like one after another. It's nonstop.
They're usually not explained. Like I was just running from the cops, and suddenly like these green guys came out of the store and started attacking me, and I just killed them. And then this A-Team van rolled up, and then the guys came out and started killing me, and I killed them, and I started driving the van. Like they don't say, "Hey, look, it's the A-Team." It's just obvious.
Well, it's just crazy because like the cops are the cops from like the Beastie Boys from Sabotage. Like it's just like so many references, like so fast. Like I saw the Duck Hunt dog pop out real fast. There was a Mega Man 2 reference.
Thing.
Yeah, I know. It's just nonstop crazy.
Actually,
like
the Mega Man 2 reference was kind of good because it's like it showed, because the Mega Man 2 reference is the building, the skyscraper on the right of the screen, and the camera starts panning up.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in the bottom it says in the year 20XX blah 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 Dr. Wily. So in the reference in Retro City Rampage it said in the year whatever the most overused video game cliche ever, and then it starts panning up. So that was kind of funny. It was kind of self-deprecating that they're actually doing all these references.
Mm-hmm.
So is the game though actually funny?
It's entertaining. I never really laughed out loud or anything.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's kind of hard to say because I only played 30 minutes. It feels like it might be a little repetitious. It's hard to say. I don't know.
Is it just a game where
the
you're
controls
just
are good.
sitting there smiling, saying, "I get that reference"?
Kind of. Yeah, I would say that.
I think when I came back from PAX last year, not 2012 but 2011, I think I gave away an Xbox Live avatar item related to Retro City Rampage. I don't remember.
Is there any more games that we want to talk about?
Hey, what has Darfox been playing and not been playing?
Okay, Darfox, tell us what games you have not been playing.
Achievements for the trophy contest.
Nice.
I'm sort of like at the end of Phoenix Wright, and for some reason I've been putting that game off. I haven't like kept on playing it.
That's the worst.
The first one?
Yes.
You're the worst.
I've really been playing it fit and started. Like I play one day, and then I don't play for like 2 weeks, and then I play like another day, and I don't play for like a month. But I'm finding like in the second last case, but from what I understand, the DS version is a port of the GBA one, and in the DS version they added an extra case at the end that's kind of somewhat throwaway.
No,
so I'm in the last like official story.
No.
no, that is not a throwaway case. That is
the best case on that
that
first
might
game.
be the best case in like the whole franchise.
Refresh my memory.
I
It's
thought
been a
it
while
was,
since I played that one.
I thought I didn't have anything major story like nothing, no lasting repercussions.
Okay, so that one, it has to deal with this girl who she wears a lab coat, Totoro, do you remember this? It was one of the first
No.
cases where you could rotate
She wears a
it had a lot of DS components. You could rotate 3D objects to check for things on them.
when you can dust for fingerprints and then blow away the
I remember.
dust.
There's a cop with a megaphone, a lanky cop.
Oh my
that's over
god,
the top.
Meekins, so good.
I mean, I
Yeah,
was gonna
there's
say
also
it's-
a blue police badger. Was it the badger
The
mascot?
Blue Badger.
Yes.
It's been 3 years since I played it, so it's like I remember the Silver Samurai one or the Steel Samurai or whatever.
Yes.
That last case is great though. And then there's the cowboy
is.
guy and the lady with the bentos.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then
Star Fox. I don't know who told you this. It's not throwaway.
and then
it's
there's the
good.
DA who laughs and claps at everything, and he's got lightning bolt hair.
It's got the black gloves.
You know who I do like though is the prosecutor that is prosecuting Edgeworth
Oh,
Mhm.
his
in
adopted dad.
spoilers. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Wait, what do you mean you don't know that? His name is Von Karma. They dress
Yeah,
the same.
I thought he was his mentor. I didn't know it
Yeah,
actually his
I thought it
adopted
was-
dad.
Well, I mean,
'Cause
I thought it was more of a mentor
father
mentee.
role here.
Yeah. Well, he's funny because he's such an imposing presence in the core, and he's so bossy that he tells the judge what to do sometimes.
I love that game. Objection.
Yeah,
When
and
the
he has,
next
a really
Phoenix
weird
Wright comes
thing
out,
going.
I will buy a 3DS. Absolutely.
You need to catch up. You need to buy the second Ace Attorney Investigations game.
That didn't come out though, right? I have to buy it. In
Yeah,
Japanese?
whatever. You can read that shit.
I can.
You multilingual, you. Yeah, so I'm in the dilemma playing Arkham City, and also still putting off finishing Ace Attorney.
Do you know what I'm excited that you've started playing a lot of?
Company
Oh,
Zero.
Company Heroes, yes.
Yes, we got another Company of Heroes fever going on the mobile server, which makes me happy.
Yeah, it's mostly thanks to Seamus, because she linked me to some broadcasters who livecast Company Heroes, and I kind of want to start watching more video game videos besides speedruns, so I really got into that. We know Kenzo's opinion about watching other people play games instead of playing them yourself, but
No, I actually enjoy
yeah,
it sometimes, but I don't know
I
about.
really like high level play.
Yeah,
I really like watching these people who just think on another level that I could never achieve, just playing these games and kind of bending these games backward. The way they can micromanage 3 different areas of the map, and the way they compete against each other, these are giants, these are titans fighting each other, and it's kind of cool watching them play a lot. And that gave me the urge to play more. So we've been playing at least one game a night sometime.
But speaking of that, we actually did a recording. I did on my Twitch account. I recorded one of our games, and like I said before, we also recorded me playing through Anna, and then I was playing the last episode of Walking Dead live because Rodney and Jen wanted to watch me make my final decisions. X, you had this idea about recording our live co-op game sessions.
Yes. We like combining live streaming with podcasting.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit. Explain.
Yeah, so we'll play some co-op games or even some competitive games like Ticket to Ride, because our Ticket to Ride games can get kind of funny because people get so mad.
People
Yeah,
get
what
really
jerks.
mad.
I know Kenzo gets really mad.
not really.
Oh, you get mad. I know Dakazu gets mad.
I get mad. I admit it.
Like Vagrant AI, he was playing with us and he beat us and you got super mad.
Otherwise known as the VAD.
The guy who also takes 30 minutes to take a turn.
Possibly.
Oh dear lord, do not play Civ with him.
Okay. But yeah, that we'll be doing that, and our archived videos will probably show up on YouTube at some point too.
Yeah, details to come about the YouTube video and YouTube channel and stuff like that. Who knows?
We're creating a lot of content. I wonder if that could be for something.
Mm-hmm.
And for your butt.
Details to come.
Are we done with games? Anything else you want to mention real quick?
I want to do a public service announcement before we move on to Moviebox.
Well, before
So-
we go to Moviebox, I want to...
Yeah.
I know Totoro and I have both seen the new Totoro Recall.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh God, I want to hear about this.
It's not bad.
It's
Really?
really not bad. I mean, looking back on it, I think I
Jessica
actually
Biel.
prefer it. I actually think I prefer it to the Schwarzenegger version.
Really? Jessica Biel.
She's pretty.
What's wrong with Jessica Biel?
It's from Jessica Biel,
She
yeah.
sucks.
Jessica Biel's great.
I hope she's pretty. Get it? Gross jokes are.
Yeah, I got it. No, it's just it's a much more interesting story to me than I think it's truer to the story.
The story isn't actually set on Mars, right?
Right. I don't think so. I've never read We Can Remember For You Wholesale.
Yeah, I haven't read it either. Kate Beckinsale is also in this.
Oh,
She's pretty good. There's just something about her that plays like that. She plays this type of character really well.
She
gross
does.
barf.
What? You don't like Jessica Biel or Kate Beckinsale?
I already
What
told
is
this.
wrong
I
with
already
you?
explained this on the podcast. I don't like. Well, who's the main guy? Colin.
Farrell.
Yeah, I don't like him.
What do you
I
have
don't
against
like Jessica
Irishman?
Biel.
Yeah, you've
And I
explained
don't
this.
like
You don't
Kate
like.
Beckinsale.
You hate attractive ladies.
It's the including Colin Farrell, the most
I
attractive
think
of the
they're bad
ladies.
actresses.
Also, Bill Nye is in it.
The science
I've
guy.
only seen Colin Farrell
Nice.
do one good movie.
Brian fucking Cranston.
Wearing a wig. He's wearing a
Okay,
wig.
that's fine, but still, the main three leads are actors that I don't like.
It's like a trifecta. Sucks
But
for
then
you.
the fourth or fifth lead is being Bryan Cranston. God, can that man play a bad role? I want to see him do it once.
Bryan Cranston is pretty good.
Well, you might see it. Hint for the future.
Yeah, I'm waiting on it.
Also, Sulu is in it.
George Takei.
No,
John Cho,
Oh, the Kumar. Or
Harold.
the other guy.
Harold, yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. But in
No,
a
there's
very
no.
small role. But the action in the movie is really good. But I will say this: I felt like I wanted to explore the city that they created. Well, I guess both the cities they created. Well, I guess all three of the cities that they created. I want to explore that in an Assassin's Creed style video game. I really wish I could have done that.
Well, that and the concept of the fall.
Yeah.
That's like I want to know more about that.
Okay, it's just a setup for people that don't know. And this movie is not set on Mars. This is set on Earth after a world war that destroyed everything except for, was it England? Britain?
It's the United Federation of Britain,
And
the UFB, and the colony,
which is Australia. And to get from one to the other, they go through the planet on this big, massive elevator, and it's called the Drop.
I thought it was the fall.
The Fall, yeah.
Whatever.
See, everything about this movie sounds really great, but I just can't get over those three actors that I hate.
I think you need to get over your bias.
But it's pretty cool because when they go through it, the first time they show about the point in time when you get ready for the to go through the core or near the core. They do the gravity reversals, so there's shit kind of floating around and everything else kind of going on.
I enjoyed that movie way more than I thought I would.
Yeah, so did I.
It's a really good action movie. Heavy on the action.
You know what I saw
Anyone
last
else? Oh, what? What
night?
did you
Sorry, interrupt you. 21 Jump Street.
That's a good movie.
That is a
That's a funny
fantastic
movie.
movie.
I also saw Game of Shadows, Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if that came out last year or not though.
That was
Before 2 years ago.
Christmas.
I think Christmas 2011.
Okay, well I saw that too. That movie's also a lot of fun.
It is.
But 21 Jump Street, that movie is a lot of funnies.
That movie is way better than it has any right to be.
It's funny how they kind of call out the fact that it's like a remake and or kind of like one of those shameless, reboots of nostalgic properties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's so much a reboot. It's kind of a sequel to the show.
They make reference.
Well, that's not so much a
not to tell
reference. Can we spoil this, guys? Has everyone seen it?
No, I want to see it.
Yeah, because that doesn't see it. It's mentioned before, but they
I'm
make
sorry,
reference.
I really want to see this.
Well,
Okay,
They make
everyone's-
reference to that there was an aborted a project in the 80s, and now that they're reviving it because they have no more ideas, and that was funny.
Yeah, it was.
So they set up the fact that 21 Jump Street with Johnny Depp, that probably actually did happen, and now they're just doing it again.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
Well,
And
it's one of those
please
movies
don't
that are
spoil it,
funny,
please.
just kind of like when you're along for the ride. So you can probably spoil the end and it'll still be just as fine. Like I knew what was. There's some surprises at the end, and I knew exactly what they were. But I love the movie, so and lessen my.
That movie made
Knowledge.
me like Channing Tatum.
What, you didn't like Channing
Remember-
Tatum? He's such a dweeby boat.
Remember the
Don't
part
eat me.
when they were high and they were talking to like the teacher and he was like ice cream
That was
cone?
great.
That was kind of scary. It was like kind of crazy. Like they're tripping out.
This movie sounds amazing.
It's really good.
Well, they go because it's about like a new drug, so they have to infiltrate the school to figure out who's supplying this new drug. And they established that this drug you go through phases of this drug, and it's pretty. One of the phases is like you just flip out, and it's really funny.
I don't think I've actually seen a movie with Channing Tatum in it.
You haven't seen 21 Jump Street?
I've seen at least one.
No,
Have you
for you.
seen G.I. Joe?
no,
Have you seen Haywire?
I don't think so.
Hey,
Who's in
Darfox,
Just
did you see Django?
Unchained. Unchained. I mean,
Yes,
yes, I did. I saw that.
I saw that too.
Christmas
Didn't
Day.
you
That's a
guys
good. That's a
do
good
like
movie.
a whole podcast on this?
Oh, this is my chance to put the Cool Dudes cast on the alltalk podcast. There is a spoiler cast at the end of the Cool Dudes cast, so go to the Geekbox forums, go to the podcast and site news section where they post all the podcasts, and you're gonna see a post for the Cool Dudes cast 000 pilot episode.
Everyone should listen to the Cool Dudes cast.
It's just
Everyone.
it's just dumb nonsense, but at the end of it, it's actually something similar to something close to a focused conversation when me, Kevin, Good Lord Man, and Cross Alexander talk about Django Unchained, and we just have like a spoiler cast. We talk about everything about the movie, everything we liked or disliked. It's a really funny movie, really dark, funny movie. You guys should watch it.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it because I saw Inglourious Basterds and I liked that, but that was just a lot of characters talking, and I felt like there wasn't enough action in it. And this was like a good mix.
It did seem to have more action than a typical Tarantino movie.
And also the freaking fight scenes were ridiculous because you could tell like Savini was involved.
Yeah, well, when I saw Savini like on screen, that made my day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who Savini is. Sorry.
Tom Savini is.
Have you seen
a-
From Dusk Till Dawn?
Most of it, yeah.
Go back.
Sex
Go
Machine.
back further than that.
Sex Machine.
That's a good way of saying who Tom Savini
No,
is.
he's
If you've seen Dusk Till Dawn.
He's in From Dusk Till Dawn.
He's got the crotch pistol.
Yeah, he's Sex Machine.
Yeah. But I mean,
He's also in the Dawn of
You
the
know,
Dead remake.
yeah. Well,
and the original.
But he's primarily, I think, known more for his
Special effects makeup.
as a special effects makeup artist.
Blood
He's
splatter.
the one who, well, he's the one who did a lot of the special effects makeup, like in the late '70s, early '80s,
Like for the
like horror
movie
movies.
The Burning
For the Burning, he did it for the original Dawn of the Dead.
and Day of the Dead.
He did the if you've ever seen the original Friday the 13th, he did the original makeup for Jason.
You guys should listen to the Horror Box, by the way. The Burning.
We're just pimping all sorts of stuff.
Oh, all
You
sorts of
should.
stuff. Last thing I'll say of Django Unchained is that Samuel Jackson is actually really good in the movie.
Yeah, no, everyone's really good in that movie. If they're in that movie, they're good.
Yeah,
They're
Samuel
good
Jackson
in it.
sometimes isn't that great. Sometimes.
I wish I could say the same thing about Les Mis. Totoro, did you see that yet?
Not yet. I'm going to.
You know, I just want to clarify because on the Kenzo, when you start criticizing something like you did with Avengers, you gotta kind of backpedal and defend your position, and it seems like you're just coming down hard on something. I thought Les Mis did a really great job. Production values. I thought a lot of people did good performances. I just did not like the two male leads. I thought they were miscast.
Now, is all of the love and attention that Anne Hathaway is getting for this, is it
Totally deserved.
totally deserved? Okay, that's
Totally deserved. She doesn't do the best job singing it, but considering that she's also crying while singing that song, like and completely acting the shit out of it, I would say absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that seems like it's a really difficult thing to get because it's like you can either, act the hell out of it or you can sing the hell out of it, but
She
it's
does both.
it's really difficult to do both.
Mm-hmm.
Between Catwoman and Crying Singing Girl, this girl's getting all the best parts.
Well, it's just that I hate to say this, but she has a big mouth and she has like really like big eyes and like she has like very exaggerated features. So when she sings her song, it's like nothing but like a really tight close up. So well.
She's kind of like an anime
because she's just emoting the shit out of that song.
She's emo?
It's good. She's emoting. Lots of emotion.
She's emoing, yeah.
Yes. Which is, you know what? Hugh Jackman does the same thing. It's just, I really don't feel like he had the singing chops to sing that role.
He's a trained, like Broadway performer.
I know. And you know what? I saw him do like his Oscar when he was the host of the Oscars. I saw him do that Oscar opening. Yeah, that was not bad. It's just
that was really good.
I thought it was
he's not made for he's not made for this role.
No, he did the Oscars a couple years ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he do the Tonys too?
I think he's done the Tonys a few times, but I think in the past couple of years they may have been going to Neil Patrick Harris. I think
he also
makes sense.
Made this like TV show that was a musical TV show, but it got canceled. But it was like not like one of those shows where people just start singing like Glee or something. It was like an actual musical, but a TV show.
I think I remember something about that.
But like 3 people watched it and it was canceled.
Yeah, and 2 of the people were like him and his wife.
Exactly.
Well, he does a better job acting and giving a performance than like Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was far less offensive to me though because he has a nice singing voice. It was just like this is complete miscast. He's not like acting, with any kind of intensity like Javert should be, and his singing voice is way too soft and pretty.
It sounds like you had expectations of what it should be, and it was different than what you were expecting, so you don't like it.
Well, it's established play. It's a story that's been
know.
told many times, so it's kind of impossible not to have expectations to it.
Yeah, the Javert character should not be like the soft-spoken, beautiful-sounding guy. It doesn't work well. People do alternate takes on characters, but it just seemed like Russell Crowe was kind of phoning it in.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe he's trying to reinvent the Javert, or whatever his name is, sorry.
I don't know.
Javert, yeah.
So is it like the performance of Romeo and Juliet in the movie Hot Fuzz?
No. And I think on that note, we need to move on, unless you have any other movies you want to talk about.
Jack Reacher.
Yes.
Ask me anything about Jack Reacher.
I want to know why you saw Jack Reacher.
I had some time to kill, and I didn't have enough time to see Django, but I had enough time to see Jack Reacher.
And how was it?
It was decent.
Okay.
Do you guys know what it's like? It's based on a book, I guess.
I know that it's supposed to, from what I understand from the the second set of previews that came out, it's supposed to be like some sort of military police thriller type thing.
Well, he used to be military police, and then he brought in, and he is working for a lawyer to try to prove someone, or try to get to the bottom of something. Okay, can I tell you guys how the movie opens?
Yes.
Sure.
I think that's fine.
It's not really a spoiler if it's the very first thing that happens, is it?
It can be, but in this context, I don't think it's that big.
Okay, it opens with a guy pulling up into like a parking garage and taking out a sniper rifle and shooting people.
Wonderful.
Oh wow! So he's trying to find the shooter, or
well, you see who it shows the face of the shooter. You know who it is the entire time, and then the guy that they arrest isn't the guy that does the shooting.
Oh, I
and
see.
Then the guy's like, "Get Jack Reacher." That's what he writes instead of a confession. And then Jack Reacher shows up. Only, you'd think that he's there to prove his innocence, but he's there to try to prove his guilt. Only we know that he's not guilty. It's not.
So is he?
Go on.
I was gonna say. So is he one of those guys who he's kind of like Gerard from The Fugitive? He doesn't really care if he's innocent or not. He's just there to. He is there to prove his guilt, and truth be damned.
He's there because he's a drifter right now. He like has nothing. Like at the very first time you see him, he goes into a Goodwill to get new clothes, and he's there to prove that he's guilty because of something that he did when he was in the military. Because when he was in the military, he did kill people, and Tom Cruise's character Jack Reacher proved it. Only they let him go. So
they have history.
Yes, and
that's why he typed it in, because he knew he was.
He knew that he would get to the bottom of it no matter what.
So it's like a thriller. Action...
It's a thriller. I would say there's like 4 action scenes in the movie, and they're not really that long. It's not really. The trailers make it look like it's a big action movie, but it's really not. It's like a detective thriller.
Yeah, that is not at all what the first set of previews made it out to be. And I think I've talked about that before on the podcast, but
Yeah, it is not at all what it looks like. It's pretty good.
it sounds like kind of right up my alley.
But the main villain of the movie, which is no surprise because it's what's going on the whole time. It's just the characters don't. So the villain of the movie, there's two of them, and the main guy is Werner Herzog, which is super weird.
Yeah.
He's not an actor.
Yeah, no, he's a director.
I know. So him acting is kind of weird because he's not the best actor. I guess he is okay because he's German, so he sounds evil.
I don't know why that works or how that works.
That actually ties into Far Cry 3. You meet this German character in Far Cry 3 who is infiltrating someone. They're like, I got a promotion because of my accent. It was great. And also, Varro from Spartacus. Not that any of you have watched Spartacus other than Kenzo. He's in it.
Oh shit! Is that the
That's the guy that looks like Paul Walker mixed with Vin Diesel from the first Fast and Furious movie.
So he's the buff guy.
Spartacus' best friend.
Oh yeah, and he's like, now you have to kill me.
Spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in it. He's also John McClane's son in the new Die Hard.
Gross.
Which comes out soon.
Double gross.
I thought it was supposed to come out already.
No, I think Valentine's Day.
That's an odd.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
timing.
Christmas, dummies.
Yeah, I know.
What a failure of a movie, I can already tell.
I still saw Looper. Anybody seen
I heard
Looper?
that was good.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
It's pretty good. I don't know if it's as good as some people say it is, but I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it as well. I didn't love it or anything. Maybe I loved it a little bit, but I liked it. It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, there's elements in that movie that I didn't know were in it that I was not expecting the movie. I was not expecting the movie to be about what it was about.
Yeah.
Keeping with
And it was pretty cool.
Keeping with very Kenzo themes, I watched from Up on Poppy Hill. It's it's the relatively new Studio Ghibli film, and it was okay.
What?
I don't think I've ever heard of that. What is
It's it's not directed by Hayao Miyazaki, which is like the more famous of their directors.
Oh, is it the one directed by
Yeah,
Totoro
it's directed by his
Miyazaki?
son.
Okay,
Oh,
yes.
fuck that. Really?
I did
See,
hear about that.
Exactly. There's a history there with that guy. He made a different movie for them, and it was really bad. This one is actually surprisingly good. I went into it thinking it was going to be terrible, but it was good. So
Really? Because Tales from Earthsea.
this one, like Tales of Earthsea, is supposed to be like a really cool action adventure movie that just fell flat, and the characters were terrible. This one is a little more scaled back in its ambition and is just trying to tell kind of slice of life story. It's fun. The characters are all right. It's really unforgivingly Japanese in that like the setting is right before the Tokyo Olympics. There's all kinds of like cultural references that you just aren't going to get unless you know what's up.
Sounds like Only Yesterday.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. It's a very slow paced film. Half of it is kind of a dumb, really retarded love story. The other half is kind of an interesting look at what's it called? In Japanese schools, there's a big emphasis on like joining clubs. You join a single club and then you just kind of like dedicate a lot of passion and energy into it. And so the story is about like a bunch of different clubs banding together to save their kind of like clubhouse, because all the clubs in the school take up residence in this building that should probably be condemned. So they're trying to fix it up and keep it from getting knocked down.
That's
That
a
makes-
good story.
That makes what I've seen of Tatami Galaxy make more sense.
So it's really fun, but don't go into it expecting like the greatest of Miyazaki or Ghibli films. I'd say it's probably on the bottom tier, but good enough to watch, and still a very, at the very least, a very beautiful film.
I saw Premium Rush.
I want to see that bad.
Yeah, when
It's pretty good. That's all I'll say. We can move on to Moviebox if you guys want.
I think we should.
I'll do my quick PSA if you guys allow me.
Go for it.
Speed Demons Archive, the website about speedruns. They do 2 marathons a year, but the big one is January, and we're in January, so It's called Awesome Games Done Quick 2013, and I just sent Dakazu the link. Hopefully, you can post it for the schedule. It starts tomorrow, Sunday. We're recording on a Saturday, and it goes to next Saturday. So you missed some of it if you're listening to this on Tuesday, but there's still plenty of speedruns to watch, and it's just epic speedrunning action for 7 days straight, and it's for charity. So if you want, you could donate some money.
Do we know which charity it is, or?
It is the Cancer Foundation.
Prevent Cancer.
Foundation.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like Child's Play or what have you. So
No, they did.
No, but that's still anything for charity is cool.
Yeah, the ones they do January is almost always for Prevent Cancer Foundation, and the ones they do during the summer, that one's typically for autism research foundations.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
Good for them.
Yeah, so check that out. Some cool shit. That's it.
Yeah, I'll make
Peace
sure
over.
to put the link when we post the podcast in the thread.
Yeah, if you don't, I'll post it myself.
Yeah, if I forget. Moviebox. Let's get to it because we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Totoro.
yeah. I'm waiting to have like tomatoes and other various vegetables and fruit thrown at me from afar.
I did not like the movie.
I did not like it either.
Really?
Okay, it's gonna be painful. So my movie was Basquiat, directed by Julian Schnabel, starring Jeffrey Wright, David Bowie. Just kind of a whole slew of different people showed up in the movie, and basically it's about an artist in New York who kind of goes from being a graffiti artist to essentially being, I don't want to say the toast of the town, but kind of a really prominent figure in the art community in the late 70s and even into the late 80s, where he falls in with Rene Ricard, who's an art critic, and then also Andy Warhol, who's the famous pop artist. But yeah,
I want to know how a movie with so many actors in it, like so many. If you look at the IMDb page, it's crazy how many people are in this.
There are a ton of really good actors in this.
I want to know how a movie with so many people, to me, was so fucking boring. I'm sorry, Totoro.
I agree. I also felt the movie was kind of pretentious.
I didn't think it was pretentious. I thought it might have been slightly aimless sometimes.
Definitely.
And maybe that was on purpose because of the dude himself was aimless. I just didn't. I thought the movie was just mostly interesting. I didn't like love the Wherein thing, but I also didn't think it was shit. It's just this kind of weird, interesting look at this guy's life. It takes place when he's like 20 years old, and then there's like a time skip when he's like 24.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why you see of him. But like my opinion of him, outside of the art, which I have no idea how to judge art, isn't very high.
He's
He's kind of an asshole. Yeah, he's kind of an asshole. So I don't know if it's kind of hard to portray that stuff sometimes, since you get like a very small sliver of his life, but his actions speak for himself sometimes.
It seemed like, the acting and everything was really good, but I felt like the portrayal was kind of one-dimensional because it only showed his douchebag side, and I assume there was another side to him.
Hopefully.
Well, they tried to explain like he had problems because they didn't really get into it too much. I mean, kind of with when Christopher Walken, he plays like an interviewer. And kind of they're talking about him because he was the first prominent like black artist, African American artist, and so at least contemporary. So they're making a big deal of that, and I think he was always like trying to fight like those expectations. He didn't like that. He was trying to battle like
I think he was
kind of racist.
I think he was playing into it, and that's what Christopher Walken was getting at, because he was saying like how he comes from like a middle class family, and yet he was living in a box in the park. And he was basically asking, were you just doing it for attention? And then he inadvertently said yes. And he said, yeah, you made me put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about this. It's like I said, there's so many good people in this. Like fucking
Willem Dafoe is in
what's
it
his
for
name?
2 seconds.
Dafoe's in it for like 5 minutes.
Okay, so
less than 5 minutes.
I haven't seen the movie, but I have a question for Totoro. Like I assume you picked this movie because you enjoyed it.
it's just partly because I thought it was I thought that Basquiat was an interesting that both the portrayal was interesting and was an interesting character, and I thought it was an interesting. I don't want to say it didn't go really deep into it very much. It was pretty much a scratch the surface type of a thing, but I mean it was an interesting character study type of thing from my point of view. Just even though it was just kind of a survey of it.
I think they mentioned a bunch of things like that he did that I think the movie would have been better if they would have shown, like when he got off of drugs and got clean. I think it would have been a better movie if they would have shown him doing that and struggling with it.
Sure, yeah.
But it was just jumping around, and it didn't seem like he even wanted to stop doing drugs.
No, and he.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I was going to say the only thing I was going to say. Well, I mean, at the very end, he he ends up dying of I think a heroin overdose.
Yeah.
That end was so abrupt too.
I thought though that it was implied that he got back onto drugs because he had stopped talking to Andy Warhol because of some
he lost
interview,
a friend.
and then he was going to see him, and he bought the duck. Was it a duck? I think it was a
Yeah,
duck.
fun of Duck Man.
Yeah,
And then on his way there, he found out that he was dead, and that pushed him back to drugs. But
Yeah, it is one of those stories where like he wanted to be famous, but once he became famous, be careful what you wish for. He sort of became isolated. The only friend he had was Andy Warhol, and he had to deal with people like writing things about them, saying that like Andy Warhol was basically using him.
But that was the only friend he had because he pushed all of his friends away.
He was such a dick in so many things, though. He kept painting over other people's paintings like, I made it better.
Yeah, I know.
He would scratch out Andy Warhol stuff, and Andy Warhol said, you make me feel like shit.
He didn't say that. He
said,
he
"You
said,
always
you keep
paint
painting
over-
over my stuff.
You always paint over
Make me
everything
feel
I
worthless.
do.
Because I guess like they were commissioned to do like, see, I didn't even know these things until like I looked it up on like Wikipedia or whatever, did some research about him. Like he and Andy Warhol were commissioned to do some work together. I mean, like I think I would have preferred to have seen just a straight documentary about him.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, well, there is one there that Julian Schnabel did, and I probably should have picked that one instead because I have actually not seen that one.
I mean, it was implied that Andy Warhol and him were really good friends and they hung out all the time. But in the movie, it only showed him hanging out in like 2 scenes when he went and got caviar, and then when they were doing the painting.
They showed him a little bit more.
Oh yeah, when the guy was peeing.
Yeah, and also like when they go to dinner.
But that was kind of like when they were first getting to know each other, I thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting the first time they met. Like he just straight up when you want to buy some ignorant art, $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's totally true. If there's any like what's that called? Like embellishing in the story. By the way, it's pretty cool.
Creative license.
Yeah.
It seemed like they didn't go in depth enough in any aspect of his life.
Well, like you said, it was really disjointed. They
Yeah,
kept
it was.
jumping around a lot.
Yeah, it lacked
That was
focus.
really distracting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose, maybe it was.
It was just like all of a sudden 4 years later, and he produced a rap album. I think they said.
Yeah.
Well, that was in the interview. It was like stuff that
Yeah.
like you said, like they talked about a lot of stuff that he did, and they didn't show it.
He got super famous and rich, I assume, but you wouldn't know that watching the movie, other than the fact that they tell you.
Right.
It never
Well,
shows
I mean,
it
but
happening.
Well, I mean, they show him like doing all the, doing these art shows and selling art for, like $2,000 a piece.
Yeah, but then that
And
lady
then-
also came up to him and said, "Remember, everything has to go through the gallery." So I thought maybe they were taking advantage of him, stealing all the money, so he was never actually getting
But then,
rich.
like, it doesn't show him like go through the process of like struggling with, I don't know if I should switch galleries. He just does it.
Yeah.
He seems like really douchey when he does.
And he
Well,
sells the one Renee's painting. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not seem like a cool dude. Seems like a jerk.
Do you guys think occasionally the movie would do like weird visual things? Did you like that stuff?
With the
You mean the surfing in the sky?
Yeah, I kind of like the surfing in the sky.
That's what was making me call it pretentious.
Well, that's just like showing that like he sometimes looks at things and he sees things, in a different way. You know, like he sees the blue of the sky and it reminds him of some surfing he probably saw on TV one time because it's all like TV eyes.
It could have also been that it was trying to say that he was super high.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He was like so up on drugs, and throughout the entire movie, it's kind of hard to tell. Then at the end, he tries to like go like take his mom out of like the asylum.
Yeah, he's doing it wrong.
It's just like yeah, and it just comes off as like, what a douche. Why didn't you do that earlier?
Why are you doing it at like midnight? What's wrong with you? Benicio del Toro was pretty great though, I thought.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like this movie has a lot of actors in it, and some of them give really great performances, and it's just like, what?
Benicio del Toro definitely, of all the other actors, gets the most screen time, I think, because he was like his best bud
for a
most
while.
of the movie.
Anyway. David Bowie was in it quite a bit.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Dennis Hopper was also kind of a weird guy, probably based on a real person as well.
But then Christopher Walken and Willem Dafoe were in the movie for one scene, and it was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was expecting Willem Dafoe to show up again as like some sort of dramatic thing where he sees this guy who didn't become famous, but he's happier than him.
Right,
but
yeah.
That didn't really happen.
I was not upset when he got beat up in the street.
That was confusing to me because the way they filmed it, they didn't show his face. So like, wait, is this actually the main character, or is this actually some other guy pretending to be the main character? But I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Talking about it makes it seem much more interesting because when I was watching, I was like, I'm not into this.
The movie was under 2 hours, but it seemed like it was 3 or 4.
Honestly, I don't feel that strongly about it. Yeah, I think this movie for some reason really grated on you guys on Dakazu on X. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was at least interesting. Like, I went into the mindset like, okay, this is gonna be like the story of some guy's life, right? So who knows if it's gonna be entertaining or not? But let's see what it's about. Thankfully, I wasn't expecting it to be. I think
like, his life part is actually kind of interesting. It's just that I didn't like how the movie did it.
Yeah, it didn't. I think they could have done it better, like showing his life, like actually showing the stuff instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, and all this happened in the 4 years that jumps into last scene."
That's why I just say I think I would have preferred a straight documentary about this guy's life.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's not. I mean, I do like some bio movies. It's just I didn't really like this one.
Yeah, sorry, Totoro.
Oh, no, it's okay. And this is exactly kind of what I wanted. I wanted something that was gonna spark some discussion. And the fact that it's not all one way, universal praise or universal, hate. That's I think that makes
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, it's not the best movie,
yes.
but
I can sleep tonight.
It's not really a bad Moviebox pick.
It's not a bad Moviebox pick, but I think it's a bad movie.
There was something else I wanted to mention about it.
Yes.
Well, I just totally blanked on it. Sorry. Oh, I think it was gonna be the kid with the crown. That was other weird visual things they were doing, where he was telling the fairy tale and suddenly they're showing like Ireland countryside.
Yeah, what was up with that at the very end?
Well, it's just you're just peering into like his head, like just the way he imagined it as a kid. All these people stopping and trying to grab the air because they're high on this kid's crown noises. It's just I don't know. It's kind of interesting. And it ends right there. As soon as he finishes telling the story, it ends right there.
Yeah, it's pretentious. I think it's like with that whole interview with Christopher Walken. I think that implied that most of what he was doing was an act. Other than the actual painting, it was like an act to promote his painting so that he could become famous. Because he clearly wanted to become famous.
Yeah.
Well, he mentioned it.
Yeah, he did. He said, "How long will it take to become famous?"
It seemed like he became miserable once he did.
What was he?
Well, that was partially. I don't know if that was the fame or if that was the drugs.
I mean, was he super happy before he got famous?
He seemed contempt, at least. He had a goal to become famous, but he seemed like contempt.
Did he?
He was fucking that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Courtney loves in this.
Yeah.
You're talking about fucking random.
She was in some movies before.
Was she the girl with the scarf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No wonder she was like so ugly and look. Sorry.
She has gotten critical praise for movies before for her acting.
Well, pretty much just the one though.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I don't mind. She could be.
What was it?
The People versus Larry Flint.
Yeah, which is an excellent movie, by the way.
Yeah, that has my two favorite things in it. an irascible primary character, and Edward Norton.
I thought you were going to say something about boobs.
I thought
Pornography.
I thought you may have mentioned Woody Harrelson.
Well, Woody was really good in it, but I'm a fan of Ed Norton's.
Didn't he get an Oscar nomination for that?
I think maybe. No, he didn't. I think he's only had 2 to this point. And are you talking about Woody Harrelson or Ed Norton?
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. I think Woody did. Edward Norton did not.
Woody is a really good actor, and so is Edward Norton.
All right.
He's underrated by far.
Let's end this. Kenzo.
Yes, sir.
Your movie box pick, please.
So my movie box pick fudges the kind of like the boundaries of what a movie box pick is, because it's kind of a movie and kind of not a movie.
Is it an infomercial?
Yes, it is an infomercial. It is a anime OVA series, which is 4 like really it's 4 TV episodes basically that are about the length of a movie. There's actually a movie.
So it's 4 30-minute.
They're a little longer.
Oh,
they're actually a
You know
movie version of this, which you can watch. Lots of people I know like this, but they don't like the movie version of it. I prefer the OVAs though, just because of pacing, and the movie's a little bit more, how do you say, overt
please.
about
Dakazu
what's
needs
going
to
on.
change his pants.
This movie, this OVA series is called Macross Plus.
Yes.
This
is totally okay, because the movie is like 2 hours and the TV show is like 30 minutes, like 4 episodes.
I think
30
each
minutes.
episode's actually like
So, yeah, it's a movie
35
length.
to 40 minutes, depending on the episode.
It's a little longer, and the movie version is cut down a little, but this is totally good. It's totally quality.
So
it's fucking Robotech.
Yes, this is it's Macross, which is what Robotech was adapted from or transformed into. Just this is actually a relatively standalone story. When I watched Macross Plus back in the day, I had actually seen like almost no Robotech or Macross stuff, so you can totally watch it and understand what's going on, not necessarily get the background stuff, but just a quick setup. The Macross world in the year 2000, the distant future of 2000, like an alien spaceship crashes on Earth. So then people realize, oh crap, we're not alone in the galaxy. We have to band together, in case if like aliens come. And so aliens eventually do come in the even more distant future of 2009. And so the human race has kind of like banded together, has repaired this broken alien spaceship. They've called it the Macross. And old ass anime from like 1982, I think. But it's
X, you're familiar with Robotech.
But it's interesting because it took a lot of like robot idea or robot genre stereotypes and kind of flipped them on his head. So like the main character, he's a bumbling idiot, but when he gets into a robot for the first time, he's not just like instantly awesome. He actually just wrecks his ship. And like they don't save the world by like killing all the aliens and pushing them back. They save the world by actually they don't actually spoilers. They don't actually save the world. The world almost gets completely blown up. But this.
So I don't need to watch it now.
No. This takes place.
He's giving them.
This movie takes place like 30 years in the future of the original show, where Earth is kind of like almost completely dead, but starting to make a comeback, and humanity is colonizing other worlds in case if Earth does get attacked again, like humanity won't go extinct. So. That's just kind of like basic setup there.
This movie has nothing to do with all the stuff you explained. I've seen it a while ago, but
that's just kind of like
it's kind of a personal story about these pilots.
Well,
I don't think there's one alien in the movie.
You probably didn't have to
aliens.
give that backstory.
I like one of the main characters in this movie is like a half alien, because aliens part of how they beat the bad guys is they end up teaming up with a good number of them and then integrating them into their society. So like he deals with being kind of like a half alien, and these aliens are more like in nature. So, but that's beside the point. But yeah, it's Max Plus. It's readily available on like Hulu and Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's actually available on YouTube as well.
I want to find the original. Like I want to find the Japanese.
I have those on
language,
DVDs.
and I want to find the OAV.
I prefer the Japanese voices. The English ones are okay. They're not great, but they're okay. Actually, Bryan Cranston plays the voice of the main character, and he does a good job. But some of the other characters are kind of like the main female lead, I kind of don't like her voice in English, but everyone else it's a pretty good job.
At any point, does Bryan Cranston say Jesse in an urgent manner?
No, but he gets pretty close.
Yeah, science, bitch.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's the thing, and you should enjoy it. Oh, also another thing to mention, this is done by the same people who made Cowboy Bebop, so it's going to be good quality there.
Both music and the director.
Well, I mean, and a lot of the staff, like a lot of the staff who made this were the staff who moved on to make Cowboy Bebop as well. So
what version is on Netflix? Is it the movie or the show?
The show, I believe. Netflix might have the movie. They'll definitely have the movie and disc version if you want to call it in.
I think also Hulu Plus has the show version.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Hulu. I know YouTube has just the dubbed version. Hulu might have the subtitled. It's a mixed bag. Either one's fine, but I just know that I prefer the original.
That's usually
Although
the case.
the dub version, they mixed up the soundtrack a little bit, and I actually like the changes they made to that soundtrack. So
It's a weird case.
I mean they re-recorded a couple songs and put some new songs in there, and it actually works.
I actually think X will rather enjoy this.
Hopefully, it's very
Definitely more than the
relatable.
last
It's very relatable, like subject matter. Like it's basically like Top Gun in space.
That's exactly what it is.
I feel the need for speed.
So we're watching Top Gun now? Instead?
Nope.
All right, with that, I think we're going to end it so I can go play some more FTL or something. Going to enjoy my new 580 graphics card. Thank you very much, Ransu.
I'm pretty sure Kenzo and Totoro were playing FTL this entire time.
Maybe.
I'm sorry.
I might have been doing that during the
catch
Moviebox discussion.
You guys are assholes. No, I'm kidding. I love you.
I was watching a Mario RPG speedrun.
Anyway, thanks for listening to this episode. Thanks to Kenzo and special guest Tom Wolf for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, please donate to the official Geekbox Mumble server, where we hang out and we play video games to record the podcast. And soon we'll be doing live casts of our co-op games. The information to join the Mumble server is at the Geekbox forums at forums.geekbox.net. If you want to join the podcast, you can also PM me, Dakazu, or Mr. X, or Totoro on the forums. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at alltalk podcast. Email us questions at podcast@alltalkpodcast.com. Review us on iTunes soon, Stitcher, all those other things. And don't forget to listen to all the other podcasts, including the Geekbox, Comic Conspiracy, Comedy Button, and Good Job Brain. And that wraps it up. I love you.
Sounds like... Oh fuck, what's that thing called?